Welcome to the very first episode of the Whole Food Masterclass video series. I'm Lisa Wheeler, naturopath from Embracing Health, and I'm here with Executive Chef Kat Cannizzaro from Wild Raw. Hi Kat.
Hi Lisa, it's great to be part of this video series. We're going to be bringing you some awesome recipes today. Beautiful chocolate, simple, fresh, you'll love it.
The Whole Food Masterclass video series is all about teaching you how to prepare really easy, simple and delicious recipes using whole foods. Whole foods are those foods found in nature. We're going back to the way our great-grandparents used to eat and shunning any processed foods with artificial colours, flavours, preservatives, and going back to nature, which is the way food should be and the way it was meant to be. I've been very privileged in my career as a naturopath to witness some amazing healings using the power of food as medicine. For me, I've seen nothing else work as well as food. Food is the foundation of health, and you can use any type of herb or supplement or body work or emotional work and do a myriad of other techniques to heal, but if you don't have food as the foundation underlying that, you're not going to get as good a results as you would if you used food as medicine as the foundation. At the Embracing Health detox healing and raw food retreats that I run in Australia and over in Bali, we do use a really strict 100% raw vegan detoxification program. However, what I've found is that most people don't want to stick to 100% raw vegan when they go home. So this is why in this series we're presenting whole foods. So some of those are cooked, but we are using predominantly raw living foods as found in nature. When you're transitioning to a more living foods diet or more whole foods diet, one of the most important aspects to remember is that we're not counting calories, we're not looking at how much fat or carbohydrate or protein is in the food. What we're actually going for is nutritional abundance. So we are looking to receive massive nutrition from our food. When we look for that, rather than looking at counting calories, what we're doing is sustaining our body. We're bringing in food as a life-sustaining force from nature, and we're able to really enjoy our food. From there, yeah, we can tweak it a little to maximize our health. So some people may do better on a higher protein diet, some may do better on a higher carbohydrate diet. But when you're utilizing foods from nature, you're not going to go too far wrong. When we look at the similarities between all the different healing regimes, we find that the thing they have in common is that they all use whole foods. So whether we're looking at a raw vegan program, whether we're looking at Ayurvedic medicine, Chinese medicine, macrobiotic diets, even things like the blood type diet, what we find is that they have one thing in common, and that is that they shun processed artificial foods. There are many paths to healing, not just one. And what we aim to do within this video series is to show you how to use whole foods from nature and how to incorporate them into your lifestyle so that it's simple and easy. Our raw food chef, Kat Cannizzaro, will be showing you some amazing recipes, and we will be featuring one food at a time. So in each episode we will bring in a feature food, and we will talk about not only the nutritional benefits of the food, we'll be showing you how to use that food in 3 or 4 simple recipes. So by the time you've finished the episode, which will be 20 to 30 minutes, you will be an expert in that particular food, and you'll be able to impress your friends with several recipes utilizing that ingredient, and you'll also know all the nutritional benefits. So we hope you enjoy the video series, and we look forward to you joining us every month for a new episode featuring a new whole food that will add to your health and add to your lifestyle. Today's episode we're featuring chocolate, and we're talking about raw chocolate, not the processed variety that's found in the supermarkets with added sugar, rancid fats, dairy and nasties that we really don't want in our bodies. We're coming back to nature with raw cacao. Cacao is a bean that comes from the cacao tree and is the base for chocolate. When it's processed naturally, it can be dried at room temperature or dried in the sun, and then it is fermented and it can be made into a powder where the cacao butter is separated from the bean, or the whole bean can be made into cacao chips. So we use this for the basis of many chocolate recipes. Cacao has been used for thousands of years and is known as the food of the gods. It has some amazing health benefits when it's found in its raw, natural state, when it hasn't been heat processed as most well-known chocolate brands have been. So when we use raw cacao, we can mimic nearly any chocolate recipe known to man, but we do it with the health benefits intact. So some of the health benefits of raw cacao is that it is very mineral dense. So it contains high levels of magnesium, which is a lovely relaxant. It's of good benefit to the cardiovascular system. It can help you sleep and help support the nervous system. It's also high in other minerals such as iron, manganese, copper, potassium and many others. It also scores very high on the ORAC register, which means that it has a huge amount of antioxidants in it when it hasn't been heat treated. It actually scores much higher than those well-known foods that contain a lot of antioxidants such as blueberries. Cacao also contains elements that support neurotransmitter production, so it actually helps us to feel really good. So one of those is PEA, which is known as the love chemical. So it's no wonder that when we're feeling a little bit down, we crave some chocolate because it's like having a great big hug. It also increases our serotonin levels and can also affect dopamine, all of which are our happy bliss chemicals that make us feel good. With raw cacao, it can be a little bit stimulating. So if you have any level of adrenal fatigue, it can stimulate a little. So with that, it's about not necessarily eating it every single day, or if you do, eat it early in the day, just in case it does keep you awake at night. Sometimes in those sensitive people it can do, but in most of us it doesn't. Another way to use it if it is a little bit stimulating is to mix it half and half with carob. Because carob is very grounding and high in calcium, it's a beautiful balancer for raw cacao. So marrying the two together doesn't affect the taste or flavours. You still get a beautiful chocolate flavour in your recipes, but it's just that little bit less stimulating for those who are a little sensitive. So raw cacao is an amazing addition to a healthy diet. There's no reason to shun chocolate. It's not evil. It is actually of massive benefit and we can enjoy it on a regular basis. Now Kat Cannizzaro is going to take us through some amazingly delicious chocolate recipes using Power Superfoods. Power Superfoods are an amazing company that have ethically produced, sustainably sourced, fair trade superfood products. And today we're using their Cacao Gold powder and their Cacao Power butter. So Kat's going to use these products to create some incredible chocolate delights.
I have to make this recipe first today. It's a raw chocolate avocado brownie because we have a group of people loitering around that really love it. So I thought I'll get this one done first. I'm going to put it in the freezer so it sets up really quickly because they're salivating. Now one of the first things I'm going to do is melt some cacao butter. You don't have to put it on the stove, but today I'm using a saucepan with a little bit of water. I'll bring that water to the boil, turn it off and then pop my cacao butter into a bowl on the top. And the first thing to do is we're using walnuts and we're just going to break those up into the food processor. This is another, what I like to call a one-pan dinner. So it'll be about a cup of walnuts, nice big cup. And we're just going to break those up a little. Just until they get that nice crumbly look. going to use about 10 to 12 dates to bind this all together, and just make sure that you take those pips out. It's really great to bring your dates to room temperature. They're nice and soft and squashy. And we're just going to use those dates to bring this mixture together just a little bit. So we've just brought that together. Now we can put all the other ingredients in. So I've got a cup of almonds and a cup of cacao powder, a nice big cup. I've also got 1/4 cup of almond meal. Now I'm just going to pulse that together before I put the rest of the ingredients in. It's coming together nicely. So a little bit of vanilla, a little bit of salt, and one of the surprise ingredients today is an avocado. So we're using avocado today. It's going to make the base lovely light and a little bit buttery. So we'll pop this in. And just a little drizzle of honey. The recipe calls for about 1/4 cup, but we do have dates in there, so you don't have to put a lot of this in. Now that's a base for our brownie. We're going to bring this all together now in the food processor. You can see that's starting to come together beautifully, but we'll just need to stop it, pull the lid off, mix it around a little bit more, and just keep that going. So we've made our base, but while I am going to put that in a pan, but just for now I'm just going to show you how to melt your cacao butter. That's going on the top. I need about 1/4 cup. I like to break the pieces small, they'll melt a lot faster. So I've got the saucepan behind me and the water underneath of the stainless steel bowl is boiling. So I'll turn that off and then just pop the cacao butter in. That's just going to melt in a few minutes, and that's going to go into the ganache we're going to do on top. So I will line the pan with a little bit of baking paper just to make sure that I can get the brownie out quite easily. And then you just press your brownie base into the pan. And this is a lovely sticky job. You need muscles for this. And as you can see, it's got lots of texture from the nuts. So just press the brownie base into a lined tin, and it is a sticky mixture. And this is a time where you can just get down and dirty with your cacao. I'm just going to use the paper to help me press that in. A brownie should be lovely, sticky, gooey, rich and delightful. There we are. Now for all those chocolate lovers, you're going to love this. We're going to actually add avocado into the chocolate ganache. And the avocado will make it rich and creamy and just that extra more delightful. So our cacao butter has now melted. We're going to use that last. So always put the setting agent, whether it be coconut oil or cacao butter, always last. So just pop that aside for a moment. Now we're going to make our lovely chocolate avocado ganache topping. It's just beautiful. So I'm just going to use 2 lovely ripe avocados. we've got 2 avocados, half a cup of cacao powder, half a cup of honey, and then we're going to put our cacao butter in. And then just bring that together. So you can see that that's just coming together beautifully, shiny, delicious. Now I'm going to put the cacao butter in. That's been melting on the stove. Now just remember that water and chocolate just don't go together. So just a quick wipe at the bottom because I really just don't want it to. It will separate in my ganache. I'm going to pour that in. And we'll just quickly process that and we can put that on the top of our brownie. And there we have it. The smell is just beautiful, shiny, gorgeous ganache. It's going to go on top of our brownie. Then this is going to go in the freezer. Now before I said it won't last long. Now that's for 2 reasons. One, we've used avocado in the base and the top. And as you know, an open avocado has got about a 3-day shelf life in the fridge. So with this in the freezer and just cut it into pieces and just eat it as you like. As I said before, it won't last long because the crew here have been waiting for it all morning. Just how gorgeous is that? Break up a few activated walnuts on the top. Now this type of dish is what you would call a love dish. So if there's anyone in your household that you want to get just a little bit more loving from, I would serve them this. That beautiful cacao to start those lovely love bliss chemicals going. So we're going to pop that into the freezer, and I would say by the look of the crew around here, it might only be in there for 5 minutes. I'm going to make a dark chocolate dipping sauce especially for strawberries. This is a really nice recipe. You make it, you pop it in the fridge so it just firms up a little bit, and then you can start dipping your strawberries in. It's got a little bit of coconut oil in it, and it's the coconut oil that keeps the chocolate nice and soft, so it doesn't break away when you bite into the strawberry. Once again, we're using the Vitamix today. I've got about quite a bit of cacao powder. You'll have the recipe for that. We're going to use about 25 grams of cacao butter, and this can all go in together. We're going to use about 100 grams of coconut oil, and we're going to use honey today. Round about, I'm just going to weigh that in, 80 grams of honey. I like to use a really light coloured honey. The light coloured honey is usually not as viscous as the dark ones, and also really light in taste. I don't really want the honey flavour to come right through, but just use as a sweetener. And once again, you can use agave, maple syrup, or a new product on the market now is coconut palm syrup. And a little bit of salt. So we're just going to blend that up, and this is so quick and fast. So we're going to put this in the refrigerator for a few minutes because I want the chocolate to firm up so it sticks to the strawberries. So we're going to dip these lovely organic strawberries into the raw chocolate. Now, strawberries have the most residue of pesticides and herbicides of any fruit in Australia. So it really is important to buy them organic. Also seasonal. That's when you're going to get the best ones. I haven't eaten a supermarket strawberry probably for 10 years. And I do miss them, but I just wait for the good seasonal ones. So I'm just going to take the chocolate out of the fridge. I've got a little bit of baking paper down here. Just going to dip those strawberries in. Or you can just pop this on your kitchen table with your friends after a beautiful meal. Strawberries and chocolate, it's a marriage made in heaven. So everybody loves chocolate mousse, and a lot of raw chocolate mousse is made with avocado, but today we're going to use cashews and coconut meat, and this is really divine and delicious. And also the difference between a chocolate mousse and a raw chocolate mousse is that this one is healthy. To make our beautiful chocolate mousse today, we're using the meat of one coconut. So we'll just take the top off. Just so we can expose those 3 lines. All right, so this is the part which has the widest from that point to that point. So just using a meat cleaver, don't use a good knife because it will ruin it. And using that part of it, we're just going to crack it into there and hopefully it'll just open in one go. There we are. And once again, our cameraman was not showered in coconut. So we'll just pour that in. I'll use that water later on, either to make a drink or for something else. And now I'm just going to scrape that out using a spoon. A little bit on the top. And then in there. So one thing when you do open your coconut, if it's pink inside and the water isn't lovely and clear like the one I just poured, it's probably not a good one. So you can always take it back to where you purchased it from and get another one. And there we are, we're just going to scoop that meat out, and that is going to be the base for our divine chocolate mousse. So I'm going to use a Vitamix today because I wanted to blend it up really nice, and because I'm nice and smooth, and because I'm using cashews, I'll need a high-speed blender. So we'll just pop our liquids in first. So we're going to do about 1/4 cup of honey. Like I said before, you can use any type of sweetener that you like. I'm a bee lover. I love bees, I love honey. There we go. We're also going to use coconut oil as a setting agent for this, but we'll just pop that in last. I've got about a whole coconut meat from a whole coconut, a nice young organic coconut. Just got our cashews, just drain the water off those. Now one of the secret ingredients to this is an namashoyu. So it's only about 1/8 of a teaspoon, and this is the salt content, and it also adds a really, it just brings up that rich, beautiful flavour. We'll just blend that up together. I'm going to use about 1/4 cup of cacao powder, and just talking about cacao powders and butters, you know, they're not all equal. This is a really good rich one. It's got a beautiful earthy smell and it's smooth. It's about 1/4 cup. Now this is going to make my mixture quite thick. We've still got coconut oil and cacao butter to put in this mixture. So I'll just pop that in, and a little bit of vanilla. this is quite a small batch, probably just enough for 1 or 2 people, depending how much mousse you like to eat. So that we could have a fight on our hands a bit later on. As you can see, that's getting really lovely and silky, but we just need it to, you just want that coconut to be really, really smooth. So we've got about a nice big tablespoon of coconut oil. And now we'll add the cacao butter. I've had that on the stove, just getting nice and warm and melty. And around about a tablespoon. So I'm just going to mix the cacao butter through before I turn the blender on. And there we have a thick, chocolatey chocolate mousse. Now we'll pop that in the fridge to set, and I really should taste it. Oh, that's delicious. This is a hot chocolate or a smoothie recipe. You can warm this on the stove, or you can just make it in the Vitamix and drink it straight away. First up, we're going to make some almond milk. I've been soaking some almonds overnight. I've got about a cup. Now, depending on how creamy you want your almond milk to be, you can either have 3 cups of water to 6 cups of water. So I'm just going to drain those off. I've got a couple of cups of water already, the Vitamix, and I'm going to give this a good blend. So that's about all it will need. Now, using a nut milk bag, you pour your mixture into the bag and then squeeze it out. Otherwise, your smoothie or your hot chocolate's going to be filled with all the almond pulp. And you can use the almond pulp later on in a raw cake or make a bliss ball. So we'll just pour that through and just give it a gentle squeeze. You can always have your almonds ready on the go. Soak them overnight. You can freeze them and just take out enough to make your milk the next day. Almond milk lasts about 3 days, so you will need to, if you're going to have this as part of your menu plan, you will need to have them on the go. It's a beautiful creamy almond milk, and I'll just show you what the pulp then looks like. Now, I use this to make raw cakes. So what I do with it is I pop it in a container and in the freezer until later on. I'll just give the jug a bit of a rinse, and now I'm going to pop that milk back in, and you will be able to see just how lovely and creamy it is. Who would have thought that you could make your own milk? Now in this I'm going to put a couple of tablespoons of raw cacao, about a teaspoon of carob. I love the flavour of carob with raw cacao, and about a teaspoon of maca. But today I'm going to put a tablespoon of maca in this because maca is so good for so many things. Balancing your hormones, it's great for energy, and it's a really good aphrodisiac. So if there's someone you want to help them get their love on, maca's the way to go. A little bit of Himalayan salt, and I'm going to use again some raw honey today to sweeten that. And just as much as you want. You can go 1/4 cup, 2 tablespoons. I'm going to blend this again. Now if you want to heat this, you can just keep it going in the Vitamix. Put your hands there, and when it gets to the temperature that you want, you can stop, or you can put it on the stove if you like. Today we're just going to make a gorgeous chocolate smoothie. So there we have gorgeous chocolate smoothie, easy to drink, and a great pick-me-up in the afternoon. Now I'm going to add some frozen banana to this, and you can add other extras, ice, chia seed. I'm going to put some bananas and make this a banana chocolate smoothie. Just a few tips with your banana as well. When you're going to freeze bananas, make sure you peel them. It's really hard to get the peel off a frozen banana. And it really doesn't take that long for your bananas to freeze. So what we do at home is all of the extra bananas we have at the end of the week, going a little bit too soft, peel into freezer bags and into the freezer. This will be a favourite with everybody. And you can see it's a lot thicker. It's more like a chocolate banana thick shake. There we are.
If you enjoyed this episode, please feel free to share the video with your family and friends. You're also welcome to forward the ebook to them via email so that they too can enjoy the chocolate recipes that Kat prepared for you today. If you don't want to miss out on any future episodes of the Whole Food Masterclass video series, please make sure that you subscribe below. For a very low monthly cost, you will receive the next episode of the series straight to your inbox. You'll receive not only the video, but you'll also receive an ebook where we feature all of the recipes from the food that Kat prepares. You will also get the method of preparing them and all the nutritional benefits of that feature food. So we hope you enjoyed today, and we look forward to seeing you next time on the Whole Food Masterclass video series.